Okay, so this is an archetype we had played variations of during standard 22, and it's a mid-rangey deck, so it was only okay there, and I'm excited to give it a try here. Um, Something to note that's different from the build in standard 22 is that I am not playing the lesson cards because I want my full sideboard for best of three, but I think that's mostly okay because we got a variety of other cards that kind of fill those same roles. Specifically, Join the Dance seems like a sweet card for this archetype. So get 2/1/1 white human creature tokens that flashes back. I had previously been playing the Make a Pest plus Learn card, which usually got pest summoning. So this is very similar to that in that it makes a bunch of tokens. When you pair this with Sedgemoor Witch, it makes 3 tokens at once. This deck also has kind of a Soul Sister sub-theme. So we've got Lunarch Veteran here along with Innkeeper to gain life when our creatures come into play. And then we've got Moon Dancer here as a payoff for when we gain life, as well as the backside here, Lisette, Dean of the Root. Whenever you gain life, you can pay 1. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Those creatures gain trampled till end of turn. So, for example, if you have either of these out alongside her, and then you cast Join the Dance, you can pay 2 extra and kind of have a mini overrun effect. Other new cards this archetype got from the most recent set is I've got a copy of Rite of Oblivion in the main and the sideboard as additional Vanishing Verse style removal. We have some copies of Can't Stay Away to return our witches as well as our moon dancers to play to get a little bit of grind. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it feels this morning. We actually got 3 pretty sweet decks. We're gonna play this. I've got a variation of Birthing Pod Clerics, and then I've got some blue-white Magecraft. So we've got 3 bangers today. Look at that, chat. They gave us a 2-drop. That doesn't surprise me to hear, Beansy. The Naya deck just like has a pretty good core of good cards. Standard has good mana now, kind of. So these lands are good, but like this deck actually has kind of medium mana in a lot of ways because it only has one of these Innistrad lands in its colors. Sure. Got me. Yeah, I really hope we get the other 5 of these in the next set. We played Witch and Regent together. We have not. I'd actually bet we get Missing Triumphs in the spring set with the gangster towns or whatever they're called. I only have 1 black source because of my mana sequencing. It's a little awkward. Yeah, the snarls are real bad. Unfortunate we couldn't hold up black mana this turn to Deadly Dispute there. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this now. This requires you sacrifice the thing as part of casting it, so if it gets countered, you still sack the thing. Join the dance sounds good in the control matchup here to put some tokens into play. We just pass, just grind a little bit. So we need one of our 5 removal spells here. That'll actually do in a pinch, right? So we can Emeria's Call here. Have another Disdainful Stroke. Unfortunate.
Want to fight me? I have impeccable study habits. Let's go digging.
Extra turn spells suck shit, chat. They're an incredibly awful play experience.
There has to be an answer here.
An extra turn spells ever improved the format? Nope. Probably want the extra can't stay away to pair with Reidane, honestly. I'm gonna trim here. So 7 months, Chubs. Think I want Meathooks to punish them for killing my things? No. I don't know how interactive I want to be here. Yeah, to the people saying, like, casual and commander players love turn spells, like, casual and commander players would still play these turn spells if they cost, like, 8 and 9 mana. So, like, you can do that and reach that audience and appease those players without having to have them pushed for constructed playability. Is the TLDR. Yeah, you could also put them in the commander only sets that they constantly put out. Is also a big true. Didn't they make an 11 mana extra turn spell and a Silverbrook standard? No. Emrakul wasn't an extra turn spell. Stop it, Magic players. Yeah, Temporal Trespass actually wasn't playable for reference for people that weren't around then and don't know your history. People didn't play Temporal Trespass because you could play Treasure Cruise and Dig Through Time. Just so you know. I'll take their Fading Hope. I'm gonna play Reidane next turn and then their hand will be super awkward. So remember, this taxes even the Foretell cards. They have to pay 4 to cast this draw 2 here. Oh, I guess playing into their stroke here is bad, huh? I should probably just join the dance. I think that was loose on my part. So I get to do this now. Yeah, my sequencing here has been sloppy. I did not sequence my cards well into their cards that I knew about. Instead of me telling you how it is, can you be more specific to me what you mean by it seemed like a trap card? Can you be constructive and specific instead of vague and Reddit-like? Okay, so they can Meathook for 3 next turn if they draw land. Apparently they don't want to wait. Reidane's very good in this format. It's very possible there should just be a bunch of copies in my main deck. Would not be surprised if that's a change that we make before we're done today. It's good against most of the decks people are playing. You need to build around a lot in order for it to be good. Not really. It's just like a card that goes in an aggressive deck, right? Hey, thanks for the Prime Star Wind. Good morning, good morning. We're gonna sequence our mana so we can join the dance on too. Like, I agree this card's not very good if you, like, play a bunch of bad cards to try and enable it, but, like, that's not what I've done here, right? I've just, like, slotted it into my deck, which already had a bunch of cards in it that already fit the requirement. What's going on, Murky? Thanks for the 21 months. Yeah, don't look at this card and go, I'm gonna build my deck around this card. Build your deck and then ask yourself, oh, does this incidentally slot into it? If yes, play it. It's a great way to think about it. This might be a spell this game. We're at 6 lands already, counting it as a spell. Just dance, chat, he says before getting Meathook massacred. Alright, it's a good pickup. Aim. No playlist set to encourage a counterspell here. Hopefully they try to like deluge here. If they've got negate in their deck, they do not. Aldrin's Epiphany. No, Aldrin's Epiphany. It's like Christmas, chat. It's like Christmas. Hey, the tokens are indestructible. Go get them. We can dance. We can dance. Do, 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 do. It's a Meathook. It's a massacre. We are very dead. Very dead. Do, do, do. This matchup seems pretty impossible for us. I was so excited about our indestructibility, chat, and then life caught up with us. I hope our opponent plays against Cadillacs and creature lands for their next 12 matches. Hope you die to the mono green blue black control player. They're coming for you. Look, I'm not saying I'm salty about that loss, chat, but I am saying there's a reason that the opponent's archetype is the only one below a 50% win rate on the untapped data. Yeah, these Hive of the Eye Tyrants have felt real awkward with green-white 2-drops. Might want to rethink our creature lands. Down with the main deck, Hermit. Looking for lands here. That's a free point. Opponent agrees. They must be a Delver deck, huh? What's going on, Toxic? Thanks for the 5 months. Welcome back. I'm in for land. I'm gonna jam this other Sedgemoor Witch just to pump up the Moondancer here, and then we're gonna smash. Unsummon. Big sad. Yeah, this card has a lot of relevant keywords here, right? Not only does it make tokens for us, but the fact that they're going to have to pay 3 life if they want to kill it with a piece of spot removal is good. The fact that it has menace means they can't just trade Hermit for it. So we got a lot of good going on here. This pause here is like the ward was a surprise. We could Deadly Dispute. Doesn't seem completely unreasonable. And then we just like play Moondancer as a follow-up, because I want to play this on green anyways. Wait for the ward to resolve so they pay the 3 life and then sack it. Thanks for the follow, dude. Thanks for the 15 months, Sir Elks. Good morning, morning. This is basically a 1-for-1 on the Hermit, right? Because like the thing I sacked to the dispute was gonna die anyway, so it's not a big deal. To grow up our tiny dancer here. Land sounds great, right? Because I can bolt that in next turn and then go Lisette into trigger it with the mana. Yeah, 2 spells this way also sends the stowaway back to its human side here. This card's very good. We're gonna play. I've got blue-white Magecraft deck we're gonna play later today that has a bunch of copies of this card in it. I think it's very powerful. Loses both human and rogue type on the back. It does. You expect a werewolf to work a job? Come on now. I'm gonna kick the Fading Hope on my Moon Dancer. I assume our opponent's playing a Delver deck. They've had a ton of bolt lands. They done 9 to themselves this game? I think they've done 9 to themselves this game, right? It quits its day job. It's a good one. So I assume they're a Delver deck. I'm gonna bring in these Bloodchief's Thirst. This is an X1 on the other side too still, right? I just bring in some Meathook Massacres. Honestly, seems pretty good, right? Like they're killing through my stuff too. Probably grind them out with this effect. I don't know if I want these ones that sacrifice. Deadly Dispute also seems a little mediocre. If they're on counter spells. Yeah, it seems like a game we're gonna be trading a lot, and gaining life or draining them while we trade sounds excellent. Heard good things about Kenna Bridge of Spirits if you need a new variety of trade. It's actually the game we're going to be starting with this afternoon. Veer, thanks for the 42 months. I mean, it's a little awkward to start here, but... For the 15 months, Mega Vega. I mean, I think Naya Werewolves could maybe be fine. I don't know that you need to play a bad card like an Upkeep Silence. Yeah, I was impressed that they rolled out a hotfix on like a Monday after the weekend. I would have preferred that they disabled the character over the weekend, but all things considered, better late than never. I'm just burning my treasure to join the dance here. You're disappointed that Graveyard Trespasser isn't seeing play. It literally was in the deck that won the Standard Challenge last weekend, Jake Man. I'm seeing play in a variety of black aggressive and mid-range decks. So like you're correct that like Jund Werewolves isn't a deck. Man, this Exiles, that's so frustrating. And the reason you're not really seeing Trespassers splashed into Werewolves is because like Werewolves has enough good cards with just red green. Doesn't really need a splash. They just rotate into full control. No, their draw's just different here. I don't think we've actually played any festival on stream yet. As for what do I intend to check out, I don't know. I'm still getting through viewer deck submissions, and once we get through those, I'm just gonna kind of roll with the punches depending on what I feel like. Really, I don't really have plans here past what you see in the deck queue. Yeah, Scholar, I think an aggro deck that gets to play like Reidane in the main is something that we'll see pop up and become more popular. Card's very good in the format. I actually think, looking at the format from this past weekend, that if Taking Turns decks are going to become popular, the festival decks are probably in a pretty bad spot. Hey, welcome back, Coons. Thanks for the 3 years. It's a shame we didn't hit the untapped land last turn to Meathook this adversary. Alright, really hoping for an untapped land this turn, huh? I'd be kind of surprised if Faithful Mending's playable. Esper Witch is on my list of things to build. Are we doing that tomorrow? I thought that was in the queue. Taking a look. Yeah, we're gonna play Esper Witch tomorrow, actually. I haven't built it yet, but we'll be doing it tomorrow morning. What's going on, dude? Thanks for the 2 months. I'm on like a half sick day myself. I'm sick, but I'm here. They don't have anything that they want to proactively flashback. They're just gonna like smack us for 7 with all the Storm Giants. New tournament platform. I don't imagine we'll be changing tournament platforms for Hoots anytime soon. So they can Bloodthirsty and then kill the Lunarch with the deal 2 and then bounce the Dean back to our hand and then crack us for 4. We're in big trouble here. The fact that our opponent had so much exile removal made our can't stay aways really terrible. Oh, they get to Burning Hands. I forgot they had that one in there. Or just adhere to their creature land. Kraken Steer, thanks for the 5 months. Welcome back. Cool Stuff Inc. is still providing prize support for the Hoaglandia tournaments. My tweet over the weekend looking for additional sponsors is so I can afford to hire some more staff and expand what we do with the tournament series. It's also because there's been a number of different much smaller tournaments than ours in terms of viewership that have had pretty significant sponsor support. So I'm almost assuredly leaving money on the table, not more aggressively looking for sponsors. So I think in a perfect world, if I can pick up, $500 to $1,000 worth of ad revenue per tournament, I'd like to hire anywhere from 2 to 4 more people, depending on how much extra revenue we can bring in. Well, bottom veteran, this is a black source than one of our other colors here. Chat, I would like to have a discussion about a suggestion in chat. Would check for traps be good against my opponent's foretell cards? Please discuss. Discuss amongst yourselves and get back to me. Let me know what you think about check for traps versus my opponent's foretell cards. Only in paper. There's the big brain play. Man, I kind of want to force this to flip back, huh? Is there any way to interact with foretell cards? No. Counter spells. It's one of the many reasons why Aldruin's Epiphany is such an offensive magic card, because Aldruin's Epiphany plays around how you would normally interact with extra turn spells and a lot of things. Thanks for the 2.5 years, Ghosted. Welcome back. Too much dog. Thanks for 28 months. I think I want to double spell this turn. Can we just play Witch and pass? I think, and this is something that I've been critical of Wizards of for a long time. It will never not be strange to me how frustratingly inconsistent Wizards is with how they apply their ban list logic. And I can give two very recent examples of what I mean of this when it applies to Magic Arena. We saw them ban Cat Oven in Standard, citing that it was tedious and frustrating to play against because of the Arena interface, and then they left it legal in Historic, and the fact it's still legal in Historic now. Similarly, we saw them ban Time Warp in Historic, and citing that extra turn spells like this can't possibly lead to good or healthy gameplay patterns, and yet they leave Aldrin's Epiphany legal in Standard. It's so crazy to me how they can get, like, so close to being correct and then not follow through and execute what they're talking about consistently. Hey, Alti Gamer, thanks for the 13 months. Welcome back. Kane's Indignation, thank you for that tier 2, and thanks for the 28 months. My body is ready to have my board get exiled. You know, stuff like Crush the Weak could definitely be a big part of making this deck not be playable in best of 3. So we talked about how mid-range decks like this are often better in best of 3 than best of 1, but the fact that this is a mid-range deck that explicitly cares about your opponent having sweepers or not is a big deal. So the fact that most decks in this format are getting access to some sort of sweeper post board definitely makes our deck a lot less good. Nah, creature lands have always become the colors that you put the mana into them, Toasted Marshmallow. It's a really old effect. Yes, yeah, the fact that our deck is 3 colors means we have access to less creature lands, which means we get punished by these effects more readily. So they get to not only kill my Sedgemoor Witch here, but also draw some cards. Oh, geez, and they get to Crush the Weak, which means they kill the Sedgemoor Witch without taking 3, and it gets exiled, so I can't use the Can't Stay Away. Yeah, this felt like a pretty perfect storm of things that were bad for us, right? Like, not only did my opponent have a bunch of sweepers here, but their sweepers exiled, so normally this deck would have a catch-up mechanic against sweepers of being able to play Can't Stay Away, but the fact that my witches have all been getting exiled means that that's just not an option for me. Our opponent's deck, I mean, I guess they have Burning Hands, but I don't know, playing a bunch of Bolt lands doesn't seem very good against the mono green deck. Alright, I give this one more try before we call it quits, but So this felt like a pretty resounding failure in the metagame that we've been playing into here. Feels like our cards are kind of individually weak, and their synergies when they come together are not paying off enough. There's too much counterplay. It is a nondescript Legionnaire shirt from Coalescence Apparel. Definitely not Boros. No, we wouldn't want to infringe on WotC's intellectual IPs. It's great. Sure, but like you have no way of knowing, Chubbs, whether or not the card was in their hand or if they top decked it. It also literally got cast out of Foretell at one point, so there's a good chance they just like cast it for Foretell the turn that they drew it. What you're doing is like the kind of typical Twitch chat thing of like you're asking me to evaluate my card at its absolute best case scenario as opposed to evaluating a card at its average case scenario. Which is just, like, not a good way to approach card evaluation. Looking for some more lands here. Alright, I'm actually excited to see a green matchup here. Last season we were playing this in Standard 22, the green matchups felt pretty reasonable. I want to save the Vanishing Verse. I'm going to attack with these, and then we'll just Deadly Dispute the one they block. Think we just pass, hold up verse / dispute. Yeah, I think I'm inclined to agree with Rhino there. I think if anything, maybe the dispute should have come back in because it seemed like my last opponent boarded off of their counter spells in the third game. Yeah, we haven't played against a green deck yet, Neil, but the sweeper decks definitely felt very bad. If we get outclassed here in terms of cards, I'm going to go ahead and take this deck and retire it. That's not something that's too surprising. Our deck's got a number of, like I said, lower-powered cards in it, so in a bigger, higher-powered format, it potentially struggling doesn't really surprise me. Sure. Well, I have 4 copies of Vanishing Verse, and I have the Rite of Oblivion, so I don't know that I need, like, I'm only playing 1 Rite of Oblivion. Yep, Coder Chris. Does your daycare expect for you to pay for the weeks that your child's classroom is closed, even though they can't be there, in order to keep their spot? Because that's like been the extra kick in the gut. Haley's classroom, they don't make you pay. Yeah, our daycare that Haley is in, we have to pay. Yeah, we have to pay for the weeks that the classroom is closed because there was a positive COVID case, or we have to give the slot up. That's wrong. Yeah, please vote for people that are going to support investing money into early childhood education, chat. We're one of the few developed countries that doesn't have that. Is there a date? Yeah, correct. In fact, at Haley's current daycare, she can only go 2 days a week until she's 18 months old because the slot for children under 18 is full at all of the daycares. So we got her a part-time slot, but she won't be able to go full-time until she's 18 months, so it could be in the different classroom.
Trees are mighty.
We got my daughter's daycare slot before she was conceived. Yeah, that's actually very common in larger cities. Is you lock in a daycare slot before you even start trying, otherwise you won't have one. We are only paying part-time rates, so we only pay $200 a week for the 2 days.
I have other groves to tend.
Sounds like a new daycare in the area would be money. No, that's so there's so many regulations and things surrounding that. Like, I don't really like, it sucks for me as an individual to like pay for care that we're not getting, but like I also know the people that own the daycare and they're not getting rich from running a daycare. Yeah, like it's expensive just because like those things are expensive to run and there's lots of regulations and tape around them. It's why every other reasonable country in the world subsidizes education and subsidizes early childcare. Yeah, there's a lot of liability as well. Sounds like communism. Listen. Seize the means of production, comrades. Arcane stayaways have felt real awkward. I guess I can put something in the bin with a block this turn and then bring it back, but you can definitely see our deck kind of just getting buried under the weight of the superior card quality of our opponent here.
Power grows with tender care.
We draw Lisette, he said before Aldrin's Epiphany was cast. Alright, I'm gonna be done with this deck. This deck's not good. Our deck just has too many weak, bad cards in it that are trying to rely on synergies, and playing synergy decks in Constructed Magic just tends to not be very good.